I'm Vicky.
And I'm Heather.
And we're the Electric Needle Girls. Today we will be going over how to finish your strap without sewing. We're going to use some of our hardware and show you how it's done.
Without sewing the ends.
Without sewing the ends, yes.
There's a little bit of sewing on here.
Yes. Okay, so this is a pre-prepared strap by Heather. She's used a contrasting zip thread for you to see. And
I do that anyway.
Yeah, you do.
Fly by the seat of my pants.
Yeah, and this is at a 4mm stitch length for a nice top stitch.
Mm-hmm.
So by putting it up nice and close, she knew I was going to do that, so she was very careful. So this strap has been made with what we call a quad fold. So Heather's going to explain that whilst I show it to you because I've got a little bit of an example here.
So we want a 1-inch finished strap, and this is a 1-inch swivel hook. So the inside of the loop, do you want us to just point to the loop, Vic? Is 1 inch. It's not the outside measurement, it's the inside measurement, and that will allow the strap to easily pass through. So to get a 1-inch finished strap, we cut a 4-inch piece, a 4-inch white strap.
Yes.
By the length that we want it. Now, this is a simple sample. So I rough cut a 4-inch by the length piece. I heat set some, I'm going to get it, some medium weight interfacing onto it. It's woven interfacing.
Which we sell on our website in 1/2 meters, meters, and 2-meter pieces.
So I rough cut it and then I cut it to exact size after I've heat set it. So this is a little sample. So it's 4 inches by a small piece. I press it to the centre to get a centre line. And then I press the long edges each to the centre, almost to the centre. Can you hold it out so people can see I don't go exactly into the centre? So I leave room for the final fold.
So there's about 1/8 of an inch gap there that Heather's leaving for the final fold of it going over like that.
Because if I did it right to the centre, it would get bulky on that final fold
that end
side.
seam, yeah.
And then we clip that together.
So it's one fold, press, create the line, fold it nearly to the centre, press that, nearly to the centre, press that, fold it over, and then for the purposes of this, we just clip the folded edge.
Because that's the one I sew first.
And then what happens is Heather or I, depending on who gets to do the sewing, goes along the
open side.
Yes, that's it, the open side. Goes along the open side at an
1/8 of an inch.
At a top stitch length.
Mm.
And then across the top to keep the thread attached all the way around and down the side and finishing it off.
It simply closes the ends. And you can see here that I've closed the ends off. And then sometimes you need to trim it with scissors. Just it gets a little bit wobbly at the end, but it's not bad. Anyway, so that's the sewing. No more sewing. Vicky's going to explain the rest.
Well, yes, but another thing which we didn't do it through our little run through because of course we did that. If you don't want to make a strap because you're like, oh no, I don't. There are alternatives. I haven't got a 1-inch piece in here, but we've got 1.5 inches. We've got 3/4. I think Heather's just going to find a 1-inch piece. So on our website we have that's a 3/4. We have 3 different sizes of strapping that you can use on your projects. So that is an alternate to a fabric strap if you're wanting a quick, easy project.
So we have 3/4, 1 and 1.5 inch strapping.
So from what we're doing now, the process will be exactly the same as if you're doing this. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to create there are two different types of hardware we use to finish the ends off. We have rivets and Chicago screws. Rivets are if you have a press or a
setting
tool. And you need to have it in size of the rivet. So this is an 8mm rivet. So you'd need an 8mm head to do that.
With an 8mm post, that particular one is.
It's an 8mm post as well.
We have those in packs of 10.
Yep. Now, rivets do come in different sizes with different length posts. So it's colours. And colours. We've got these in all of our hardware colours.
Plus some extra special ones.
Yes.
And the other one is a Chicago screw, which has a male and female one. So we have one with a hole and one with a thread. And they screw together from the opposite side. And we put a little bit of Loctite on them. And we sell those also in our shop.
So if you don't want to invest in a press or a setting tool, that is one way of...
Get in the frame, Heather. Gracious me, how silly am I?
Told you she talks over. That's one way that you can do your finishing of your bag.
And holding it together. And they're both very strong, aren't they?
Yes.
And we're going to fit a swivel hook at either end, which we've quickly shown. That's a 1-inch swivel hook. And we sell them in packs of
2 in 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, 1 inch, and 1.5 inch.
In 5 colours.
And if you want that in metric, it's 12mm, 20mm, 25mm, and 38mm.
Well done.
Don't ask me to go any higher than that with the metric.
50.
Yes, I did know that because Heather has in Heather's stash, a 50mm set of swivel hooks, which we're not going to get into anytime soon. She might have asked and I might have said no.
She's a mean woman.
Don't have the room.
No, we don't.
We don't have the room. Okay, so before we add our swivel hooks on, what we are going to go through is we're going to go through the use of a fray stopper. So this is the Matilda's own fray stopper. We stock this in our store. Heather has one open here. So it comes with a replacement reservoir, but it is a brush. If I get this in frame, there we go. It is a brush and it has...
Does that help it focus?
Yes. And it has where my finger is running backwards and forward. You won't be able to see it, but that's where it says push. So that's to tell you to push it.
It's a fluid pen.
Yeah.
So Vicky's going to press that and a little
bit
amount of fluid comes out.
Yeah, and I'm slightly pushing it and I'm just putting that over the raw edges of our fabric.
To stop it fraying.
At either end.
This product is in the frame, please. This product is very good also for holding the ends of overlocking. We also use it for tying knots. When I've tied knots and pulled them through to the back in a bag, and we put a bit on the knot, don't we, just to hold it in. Well,
we're going to keep that close by because we're going to need it shortly as well.
Yes, we are.
But you saw how easy that was to apply to the ends of our zip.
It doesn't leak.
Yeah, no, and being in a pen format, the fluid is all down here and you have to push for it to come through.
Yeah.
So
and you can carry it and it doesn't, it's all right. It doesn't leak. That's my experience anyway.
Okay. Now, so we stock that in our shop as well as the swivel hooks. We are going to demonstrate our twist punch. Now, for the twist punch, this is going to go through several layers of fabric. And we're going to start with the Chicago screw because we've got the larger head in the shot.
Because the Chicago screw does have a wider shank, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. So what we're going to do is we're going to thread the swivel hook through we're going to fold the end over and then fold that over again. And we're just going to bring a clip here, clip the side there, and the side here, to hold it perfectly in place and in line, because that's what we want. We want our strap to be enclosed and in line. Now, Heather has put us, you might see that we're using a self-healing mat, but we're using a tiny little mat here, because when punching through, it can get quite deep into your good mats.
It doesn't work like a rotary cutter, does it?
Yeah, no. So the self-healing mats don't heal properly. And it will create holes in your mat. So this is our little sacrificial mat. And I'm just placing a mark at, I'm eyeballing this. So, yeah. Yeah, and our approximate center. It doesn't matter what pen you use, because we're going to be cutting this hole out.
Yep.
So I take my twist punch, making sure that the twist punch is vertical. I am pushing directly down, and you're going to need to do this probably a few times.
Through like 3 layers of strap, aren't you? And they've each got 4 layers of fabric, so it's that's 12 layers of fabric.
Yeah. So right now I'm going through 12 layers of fabric, as Heather said. Now I'm not pulling my thing out. I'm just checking I'm not all the way through. But I just keep
continuing to do it
without moving the tip, and I think I'm through.
Sounding like it's through now, doesn't it?
I'm
not quite.
Almost there. I'm through the majority.
Put some weight into it, woman.
Now, there are other, I think, yes, I'm through. So you'll see now that there is a perfect hole through that. Now, you're going to think this is insane of me, but I'm actually going to undo this, and I'm going to grab our fray check again. Because we've created a hole in our fabric, we've cut into our fraying substrate. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that our fraying substrate doesn't fray. But actually the good thing about this is, because the tip's small enough, I don't actually have to pull it all apart. So
I think you can poke it in and get it into the inside.
Yeah, so I don't need to pull it all apart. And this one is clear, so it doesn't matter if you go a little bit over and it
dries clear.
Yeah, it is clear and dries clear. Okay. So
you want this one on the outside?
Yes. So on the outside, so the outside being the side where you don't see all the layers, we're going to grab our Chicago screw and we're going to push it.
It's a little bit of an interference fit, but we want that actually, don't we?
Yes, so I might actually go...
What are you doing, throwing things around?
Yeah, I'm throwing things around.
She's unravelled it to get it through.
So I'm trying to go through one hole at a time. Maybe this fitted with the vinyl, but I don't think...
Maybe the vinyl stretched. Do you want a bigger one?
Yes.
So this is, mistakes happen to wonderful people.
So we've used a slightly too small twist head, so it's not going through. We did test this out, but we tested it out on a vinyl which has stretched. So what I'm going to do is, with it unraveled,
I changed it over to a slightly larger one.
Quite larger one. Yeah. So I am just going through on each one.
Maybe put a bit of fray check on those again while it's unravelled.
Yes. So here we go. So we squeeze and we just dab on the fabric. Dab on the fabric till you see some of it coming out, and that will stop it from fraying. Okay, so now I'm going to
reassemble put the swivel back on.
So I am going to do this, but I probably will end up...
done it backwards.
I probably will end up still pulling this slightly apart. Okay. So I know what it's doing. I've undone that one and we're gone. Okay. There we go. That's fitted through. Then my fold. Let's see if we can match this hole up again. So those holes. Now this is easier to do. I'm making...
not trying to be in the camera.
Yeah.
Do you want to pass it here and I can see, because I've got big glasses on. It helps. You keep talking and talk about what we're going to do next.
So Heather is just fitting this at the moment. She's probably needs to get in frame a bit, but she's just lining those two holes up. That's why a pen flew into frame. And it looks like we're almost there. Now, as we said, it doesn't normally take that much effort. It's only because we're trying to do it away from our bodies and in frame. So you can see if Heather holds it up just a smidge closer to the...
Can I just get it through the hole? There we go. So you can see that little bit of thread coming through.
Yep.
Do you want to put the little dab of... Now we're going to put a little dab of fray check in there. So Vicky's going to... Loctite.
So Loctite is a product that we purchase at the Bunnings tool shop. So you go into Bunnings and then into the tool shop. It's not worth us stocking, and
we've looked at getting it, but it's not worth it.
So what we do is I have a bit of
baking paper.
Yeah, baking paper there, because this actually is coloured. So this is blue, and we need to be... It does come out of the applicator very quickly once it starts coming out of the applicator.
This is a new one. Is there a cap on the top?
I think there is a cap on the top, which is why it's not coming out. So let's just... okay. So we've snipped the little tip off the top.
We only need a drop. And she's going to put the cap back on so we don't spill it. Because it does... This actually, you've got to be careful with.
Okay, and then we get a toothpick. Now the reason we use this is that when you screw the thread in, it will adhere to the grooves of the thread and keep them locked in place. Look, you could undo it, but it would take some effort. Okay.
It's under my arm.
So we've got a pen screwdriver, which we have in our shop in the blue colour.
That's mine. The pink one's mine.
Yeah, the pink one is Heather's. So what we're going to do here is we are going to, if you've heard the saying righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, we're going to turn it to the right until it can't be turned anymore, which I think is done now. And there we have our Chicago screw.
I'll get rid of this because we don't want that making a mess.
Yep, so there we have our Chicago screw in place.
Can you give me the screwdriver? I just want to show how this works, because this is... I don't know about you guys, but I lose things in my sewing room. So the beauty of this tool, and the blue one is exactly the same, is that we have one bit here, and we've got... put them all on my hand. So 2, 4, 6, 8 different bits. There's flat, there's Phillips, there's the other one that I can never remember, but it's like a Phillips head, like a star. Do you remember what that is, Vic? Anyway, you don't have to go and get a greasy one from the workshop. You can have your own, and you keep all of the bits together and don't lose them, and they're held in via a magnet.
Yep.
Oh,
and you can tuck it away in a place where somebody who's inclined to goob it up won't find it.
And I made a little case for it with leftover stuff that I had.
Yeah.
Am I in frame? Not in frame.
So, yeah, that's just a little scrap buster project that Heather put together using leftover fabric from...
That's the science fabric.
It's the science fabric from...
Lucy's bag.
Yep.
Anyway, so that's one end, and we've done that with the Chicago screw.
Okay, so repeating the same process of slipping through that end, folding it over, and then folding it over again. We've got that. We're then going to clip it as we did before. The only difference in this method is that we're going to use a press instead of the screw. And we know the correct tip to use for this one, which Heather's just installed. It's a smaller tip because the rivet cap is small.
And we just, okay, you're going to punch the hole. What I was going to do is turn this over.
I'll punch the hole whilst you explain the press.
Right. Now, this is my punch. It's in a pretty pink, so it's a sewing room punch. If you can see it from the side, there's a screw here. There's a big, this is a big long lever, so it's that Archimedes principle in that a little bit of pressure here. Oh, Atlas or so, who was it? Whatever. Anyway, a little bit of pressure here creates much more force down there. Was Atlas said he could move the world with a big enough plimsoll. Anyway, this is the base and this is the top. And this is the 8mm Chicago rivet setting die that I have in this.
Okay.
And here's the...
So once again, before we go to put...
the cap and the one with the post, and we put those in together.
Making sure that we do the same process of putting the fray check in. Now this one's a little bit more... compact, so the hole's smaller, but you can still get the bristles in. So we pop one end through. See?
Pop through easily.
When the hole's the correct size, it's much easier to
helps
do.
Helps us if we turn our brains on and go, don't drop that cap.
I'm not going to drop... If I drop the cap, it's because you said don't drop the cap. Okay. So you'll hear this.
Click.
A little click in place.
So that's your first click.
And then your second, what I do, and this isn't necessarily what everybody does because the die does have a little divot in it. So some people lay the cap in the back and press down. I've always found that I've come out with a dint when I do that. So what I do is the top of the die, which I'll undo.
Has a silicone ring around it.
Yep. Yep. So it does, yeah, has that silicone ring around it. So the outside had the cap. So what I do is I hold it into place like that. So I'm just pulling that off because I was just showing you. So by clicking it into the silicone section of the die, it's literally holding and lining that up. Let's move that further in frame.
We might just tip it over and show what we mean too.
Yep. So it's holding our pieces in place. So from there, we're going to tip it back because this we can't do with it on the side.
No.
And we are going to compress this arm down, which is going to press our rivets into place. And you can see there.
No dents.
No dents on our rivet cap.
We've got rivets in lots of colours, haven't we?
We have rivets in our standard rainbow gold, gunmetal, silver and antique. And as we have some anodized zip tape, we went and got anodized teal, violet, and red. So we have it in 8 different colours for you to see. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe. We are Electric Needle Girls. Come and check us out at electricneedlegirls.com.au.
We get postage undertaken very quickly, don't we? We have a very efficient mail out system.
Yes, we do. So we will endeavour to have your orders out the same day we receive them, unless it's a weekend and the post office is closed.
But there'll be one we'll be going to the post office tomorrow morning, won't we? Because today's Sunday. We're recording on a Sunday. Doesn't matter because I don't know when it's going to get posted, but that doesn't matter. So a quick recap. Hardware. Chicago screws. Rivets.
We have our screwdriver pens.
Our phrase stopper.
Our woven interfacing. And our twist punches, which are available
in 3 colours. Black, redwood, and blonde.
Or natural, yeah.
Natural, blonde, whatever.
Yep.
I don't think there's anything else.
No, I don't think so. I hope you have enjoyed this video. And you, as I said, you will like and subscribe. So for any more content coming from us, enjoy your busy day or evening, and we will see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.